Y'all tight, boy. Y'all tight. Hey. Let's give a hand to my man, DJ Melody in the house. DJ Melody. Now, here on Vibe, what we try to do is a little different, I think, in most shows, to show real-life action heroes, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And our next couple are real-life heroes. They live in the Bed-Stuy section of Brooklyn, New York, one of the toughest neighborhoods in America. But these guys are really making a difference. In 1988, they established the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps, the country's first minority-run volunteer ambulance service. Please give them a warm Vibe welcome to a couple friends of mine, James Rocky Robinson and Joe Perez. All right. Now, this story here, y'all, I'm going to try to do a service in this short amount of time. I read about this in People magazine, but I had heard about it. I wanted to do a movie. And what happens, I've optioned the rights, because I want to do the movie about what these two men have done. And you got to hear this. It's such a wonderful story. These guys are licensed EMTs, but they started a volunteer service in an area because 911, those from minority areas know that won't come in. You call 911, you might as well call your mama. Because your mama will probably respond faster. And I want to know, man, why did it start? How did it happen? What made the volunteer service happen? What made you do that?
Well, Sinbad, like you said, in 1988, we took and we occupied an abandoned building in Bed-Stuy that didn't have any electricity or water or anything. And we got together, you know, we brought a bunch of people together that, you know, from the community and trained them in first aid and CPR.
Now, tell me, now, Rocky, these were not regular people that y'all trained, right?
Well, really, you know, you got to consider the environment, you know. We live in a rough and tough neighborhood, you know. So a lot of the people that need help, they're former addicts, former gangbangers, people that other people wouldn't touch, you know, and people need a chance. You know, everybody makes mistakes. And we felt, okay, and if somebody came to us, okay, and they said they want to turn their life around, and we have the resources and the knowledge to help them turn it around, I think that's what we should be doing, and that is our commitment, especially to the young people, okay?
In fact, we have a program now.
You got to hear this program we got with these young people, man.
Yeah, we have a program now with the Brooklyn DA's office where they're sending kids down to us that have been convicted of crimes, and as an alternative sentencing program. And in the past, our Trauma Trooper youth program.
That's the youth. They got these guys called Trauma Troopers. What's the ages on these kids?
From 12 to 21 years of age. Now, we have 3 kids that was former gang bangers, for lack of a better term, that are now in medical school that started with us. I mean, what we did basically, Sinbad, was show kids that there's no greater high than saving somebody's life, you know? And if kids, the thing about it is everybody likes excitement, okay? They like to be, but if they find out that, hey, I could get a better thrill from saving somebody's life than I can from taking somebody's life, they're going to opt to try to save a life. And that's what the kids keyed in on, that they were able to have their little portable radios. If they hear that somebody was shot, stabbed, or whatever, and they run to the scene and stabilize the patient, then somebody says to them the next day, hey, I heard you saved your homeboy's life. It ain't like, I heard you killed this guy last night. You know what I mean? So that's the difference that we've made at Bed-Stuy.
That is cool. That is so cool. Now, it sounds all nice now, but when y'all started in the neighborhood, your own people didn't want you to help them.
Yeah, there was a lot of skepticism about us. You know, well, here's 2 grown men going into an abandoned building with no...
But don't understand, they showed up with no ambulance. These brothers were running.
Yeah, that's right.
Running.
That's right.
The deal was, we didn't have an ambulance at the time, but our job, we felt, was to make sure that the patient did not bleed to death in the street. that they had oxygen to maintain the brain. So when an ambulance did arrive on the scene, they would have a live person instead of a DOA.
Yeah.
All right.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a brain surgeon on the ambulance, because if there's no ambulance there to save the patient, then that patient's going to die. So what we used to do is get out there, stabilize the patient until EMS got there.
Now let me ask you this: when you first got out, how did you know where to go? I mean,
we had scanners.
So you just listen in.
We would listen on our scanners, okay, and then we would run out to the scene and stabilize the patient, and then a lot of people in the community, they say, here come them guys without the ambulance again. And everybody was laughing.
The ambulance call without an ambulance.
Everybody was laughing except one person. You know who that one person was? That victim that was laying down on that sidewalk in that street, bleeding to death. They was not laughing, okay?
Now, people think everything, even now, there's 1998, expenses, even now, because of the way the system is set up, you still have a hard time covering expenses, hard time even getting, what we want to do on Vibe, we're going to put the challenge out there. We got this number out here. We got 718-453-4617, Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Ask for Rocky or Joe. You call that number, they need an ambulance. They also need money to keep training the kids, send the kids to college. So this is your chance to get involved and do something. These brothers are doing the grunt work, but this is your chance, corporations and people at home, to help. Like I say, they say mind's a terrible thing to waste. This is a chance to make sure that mind is not wasted. So people, call that number if you can help out get an ambulance, because there's nothing worse. Now, y'all not running no more, right? Because y'all not as young as y'all used to be, right?
We have an ambulance. We have 3 ambulances, but the cost of operating them is about $20,000 a month. We have an EMT program. We also teach first aid and CPR to the public, and that helps support our operation. But the biggest thing here is that since 1988, you know, the response time was like 20 minutes, and people were laying in the street watching their lives spill into the gutter. And now our response time is 4 minutes. We have, we do about 350 calls a month, which is probably the busiest volunteer ambulance corps in the state of New York for its size. And we have
But we got one thing, sorry to cut you off, Joe. We got another gimmick for fundraising, okay, Sinbad, and that is...
Now, I understand, this brother always went to EMT. He says he was one of the first rappers. Back in the day when no one was rapping, he had a record store / nightclub. He would just put speakers outside. Now, we're going to see.
They heard about you.
We're going to see. Now, we're going to see what you got.
In 1969, your mom and daddy was getting down. You was just a baby. Mama's just and daddy's baby. Godfather Rock was on the scene. Getting down with the record machine, with a hip, a hop, a did it, a drop, a did it, a drop, did it, a don't stop. To the beat, y'all, to the beat. Say God, funk, for the rum, guaranteed to make the booty jump. Say call your mama to the radio. Godfather Rock says stereo. Get down with a you-know, with a hip hop, a did it, the drop, the dip, the drop, did it, the body rock. Like this, y'all,